Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, rules can be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. If you're new to the channel, know that I like to go deep in my reading. So we do look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. It allows you to see how you contribute to the undesirable life experience, what spiritual lessons you need to learn so that once you actually integrate those spiritual lessons, you change the dynamic of the relationship. That's pretty much what karma means. Karma means learn. A lot of times when we're in these karmic cycles with a person, it's that everyone's dealing with the situation the same way. And when everyone deals with the situation the same way, nothing happens. It makes the energy really stagnant because what happens is both parties are usually stuck in pride or ego or a lower emotion. Now, does that mean that both parties cause that emotion? No, I'm sure like a lot of times it's one person that's a runner that triggers the other person, and then the other person wants respect, wants that person to be a certain way, act a certain way, do a certain thing. And so what happens is it becomes like more about ego and will instead of what the relationship really is supposed to signify, which is unconditional love. So we learn our spiritual lessons through pain and suffering. We learn like what we need to heal by what gets triggered within us, and what better way than within our relationships. So I like to go deep because if you're stuck in a trauma bond relationship where you seriously don't want to be with that person, but you don't know how to get out, you don't know why you still think about this person, understanding why you hold on to avoidant people or why you hold on to experiences that are never going to manifest is essential for you to be able to attract new energy. Because what happens is that when we have fear of intimacy, and that's trust at the most basic foundation, what happens is that we become a magnet for people that also have trust issues. They don't respond to their trust issues the same way that we do. Usually the person that comes to us is going to trigger every single one of our trust issues. So being in a karmic contract with somebody that is toxic, it wears away at your self-esteem. So understanding how to look at your situation from a different perception allows you to break that karmic contract, break that karmic loop, stop that karmic cycle. So this is why you really want to do shadow readings, because it doesn't just have the potential to shape shift the situation that you're in, but actually allows you to attract better energy into your life. Because when we have shadows, it's where we're blocked from love. So attracting a person that's avoidant means that you are blocked in an area of receiving love. This person has brought that spiritual awareness to light. That's why the universe, God, if you will, because God is the universe, God's ubiquitous, brought you this person, again, to teach you. So if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. Now, the word of the video is always how I like to start my readings off. And so I don't know why I just channeled that. So maybe some of you guys are connected to what feels like a trauma bond and you're like over it. You're like, I'm past it, but I'm still feel like it's affected me. That could it be, even if you don't want to be with that person, then others of you are like, I still think about that person, even though I know that they didn't treat me well. I just can't seem to get over it. And it's affecting my energy level. All these are signs of trauma. So again, having new awareness allows you to do different things, which at the very least will make you feel better when you shift the energy. All right. Again, want to enter into winning a free reading, gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video, and the word of the video is not the video. Someone wrote that, and I was like, I think that I'm gonna make them a winner, even though that's not the word, but I thought it was clever. Knowledge and wisdom is actually going to be the word of the day, the words of the day. And this is again how you're reading the underlining energy. And I feel like Virgo, it's like you are coming from a high, like, yes, this connection, the person that you're thinking about is a soul connection because there is unconditional love there. However, you are not on the same vibration as this person. You have done work on yourself. You have done healing on yourself. There's parts of you that just have gotten to a point where you've evolved to where you feel good about your life, what you've done for your life. Are you 100% satisfied in your life? No, but you're coming from a higher vibration because you know that there's like, you know that you're going to be taken care of. You know that the universe takes care of those that are good, that put the energy towards themselves, that as long as you keep doing what you need to do for yourself, there's like a knowledge, a higher knowing that it's going to work out. There's also this knowing that you could be with this person. You see a lot of the similarities between you and this person, but also someone in your life that you loved like a parent, but they emotionally were not capable of like showing you love. But you knew that this person loved you. Almost like I feel like you had a father that loved you. You know that your father loved you, but they weren't capable of showing you love. And that this person brings that part of you out that sometimes it's like you show emotion, but when it comes to real like close partners, like people that you're head over heels for, like people that you want to be intimate with on every single level, you have a hard time to really allow your true self to be, because again it was almost like shunned to not show your feelings, mainly because you could feel that your father didn't feel, again, that, or mother, if that was the dominant energy in the family, wasn't comfortable with their own emotions because they weren't comfortable with their emotions, and they dealt with everything from a very logical and analytical way. It's, that's wasn't really your language, but you both learned how to communicate through this psychic realm. And that psychic realm was your dad's the knowing, I do love you, I do care about you, you can feel that. However, I'm not comfortable with that intimacy of actually, showing up for you all the time. So what's happened is it's like you've attracted a person that has that energy into your life. And it's become like a little bit of a karmic theme where you're like, I just attract people that emotionally can't give to me. And so there's a knowledge for you that you're like, I don't force this person to give it to me because I know that they're not capable of giving it to me. Am I happy with that? No, I'm not happy with that. But I love this person, so I'm just like accepting of it. But it's kind of been my theme. And I think for your person, they're like, you know what? For the first time, I have a person in my life that doesn't tell me how to be, what I should do, what I could do. It's like, so for them, they feel that the spiritual connection, it's one that transcends time and space. So there is unconditional love, and this, they can feel the spiritual connection. But you also didn't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. I know that you don't like what I do, And sometimes I do stuff to get a reaction out of you, but you don't even respond to that. You don't give me anything. So it's like, it's almost like the way that your dad responded to you by not showing emotion and from you learning not to like show your emotion, you again have learned to deal with this person in the same way. Like I would learn, it's very easy for me to shut my emotions off and act like I don't care and act as if, because again, you grew up in that type of environment. And so there's this inner wisdom, which is, you know, that this is your person. This person knows you're their person because that's an energetic, psychic thing, connection. It's one of the heart and mind. It's like there's an inner knowing, it's an inner wisdom. It's again, claircognizance. Like, I don't know how we know, we just know. And it's because too many synchronicities, too many things that are unexplainable. Why? And it's like not, and part of that why is you're not even my type. You're not even someone that I would normally pick for myself. You're not even somebody that, like, our mental, logical brain says, well, I wouldn't even pick this person because they're not my religion, or they don't look like me, or they don't do this, or what are other people going to think? What is this? So again, the spiritual connection of a soulmate, that of this type, where there's this wisdom, this ESP level, this internal knowing, is transcends so many times, so many lifetimes, but always comes into the life during transition. So I feel like there's going to be transitions in both you and this person's life that will give you the opportunity to be together. The thing is, there has been betrayal in the past, and this person doubts that they can really fix it, and they also hide by a lot of pride. And I feel like you've gotten to a place where you're like intolerant and also have become very impatient with this person's, like, again, always like it's narcissistic, where they only think about themselves, where you're tired of being disappointed. And it's mainly because they don't really want to learn. It's like they're not open to it. And they haven't been with, because they get, like, again, self-righteous. And the reason why is because, again, they don't feel comfortable with emotion. So that how they deal with it is through being avoidant, because they are disassociated. And so when you push them, it's almost like they get angry. And it's really because, again, what you're saying is that you don't like the way that they are. It's making them feel like really insecure. And that makes them feel rejected and abandoned. And that's what happens when we really can't express ourselves when we grow up. It's like we begin to like come from this facade. And that's really the thing. Your person knows, again, that you're their person, but the bottom line is that they have a wound of abandonment. You have to have a wound of abandonment in order to have attracted this person. Now I'm going to look and see, what are their hidden truths about you? What are their hidden truths about you? Let's see. So many things remind me of you. Again, love is like the hidden truths, but it's, again, so many things remind me of you. And this is your person, like, I think, try to control like their feelings, obviously, right? It's like they don't show their feelings. And so you don't give them anything. They do everything, though, for you to show feelings. So if you show feelings and you get crazy, then they're like, oh, see, look how much you like me. Like, and then they don't have to do anything. Thing is, this person has feelings for you and you're not reacting to them. So it's actually making them want to do something for you, believe it or not, because you're always on their mind. They're always on their mind because, again, there really is unconditional love. So even though they've tried to control, and even though they have wounds, it's easier to run. but I feel like this person like is really thinking about coming back. I left you before you could leave me. So this person, again, not only has intimacy issues, but obviously they don't like who they are because every time they manifest, it doesn't, the relationship winds up being really toxic. They wind up not being happy. They don't understand why. They just know that they're the problem now. And because it's happened a few times. And I feel like, again, they had intimacy issues. So what happens is it's like in the beginning, they're really passionate. They come on really strong. They come on really fast. And it's like almost like love bombing, but this person really like falls in love with being in love. And they also are sensitive, so they pick up on what the other person feels. So if you have strong feelings for them and they feel it, so it's that they get lost in that, and then the relationship goes too fast. They lose themselves in the other person's life. And then what happens is after like the honeymoon phase is over, they're like, I don't really want to live your life. This is boring. And this is boring. And it's boring because this person that goes from one extreme to another. They don't express their feelings. They don't express their emotions. They're led by their passion. They're led by attraction. They're led by their lower self. And that's, but again, this connection is one of the higher self. So again, but their ego was leaving them because it's like, if you really saw who I am, you're not going to like me. And it's better for me to leave than it is for you to leave me. Because if you leave me, then I have to sit there and rewrite the script of who I am. So I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to guard my persona. And I'm going to guard my persona because I don't know how to fix this inadequacy within me, even though I know you can feel that I'm your person and vice versa. I am also very ashamed because on some level, even though I'm not a spiritual person, I may have my own right of being intuitive, or I don't know how I know this higher knowledge. Again, because God will work through even someone that's not evolved to make them like see again that I am always the problem and that it's what I do. So they will always have awareness regardless because they can feel it. And that's so now I'm ashamed and I don't really want to face you. So I'm kind of hiding also because what am I going to say? It's like it's either step it up into the higher version of myself, the best version of myself, or at least a better version of myself. But that would require me to change. I feel like this person always does what's easier. And then what happens is it backfires. I regret lying to you. It's like if that person lived again by their facade. I want you to think that I'm this person. So I'm going to be mean to you. I'm going to act like I don't like you, even though you can feel that I do like you. I'm going to make you think you're crazy. It's like better for you to think that, again, that you're crazy and that, again, that you're all over the place than me really show who I am. It's like because that version of you makes you look weak and makes me look strong, makes me look very desirable. So I don't think that this person is aware that they do that. It's very toxic, but only a person that really doesn't feel good about themselves. Again, the gaslighting, it's like that's what I felt like. I feel like that's why again, the lie is I'm going to act like I don't like you. I'm going to act like you're crazy. I'm going to act like, that I didn't offer certain things. I'm going to act like I wasn't that passionate and hot in the beginning coming on to you. I'm going to act like it's not really that big of a deal, that you made it like twice as much of what it was instead of what it really is. And then you're like, I know I'm not crazy. But again, better for them to see the crazy version of you because, again, then they don't have to look at themselves. That validates the ego, the persona. Again, substances. I also feel like this person can have a tendency to drink too much, smoke too much. Remember, they don't feel with their emotions. They suppress their emotions. So they're not emotionally intelligent. So they don't like what manifests within their relationships. So they don't really trust themselves. They know that they're the problem. So it's again, and they don't do anything to fix it. We can't stay in an energy like that. On a subconscious level, it doesn't feel good. It's actually very draining to keep up with the facade. And just like that keeps us also in a place of believing that we can't be loved because, we're coming from the facade and people can feel when things are like not authentic. People can feel when things aren't right. So, in order for this person to deal with that, because I do feel like they're sensitive, they go into relationships and they can take on that person's energy. So there's a part of them that it's again doesn't like that part of themselves. And in order to shut that part off, they have to suppress it with substances. So you probably don't feel this person from time to time because it's the way that they've learned how to deal with stress. They also feel like that's the way that a parent or again, a caretaker learned how to deal with their stress. So again, there's a lot of these spiritual things that are in alignment almost like you're like, I can recognize that personality. And it's because there is unconditional love between you and that parent. But there's also unresolved trauma. And that unresolved trauma is manifesting out. It's suppressed. It's something that you're not conscious of. Because you'd be like, why am I attracting people that have addictions? Or why am I attracting people that are avoidant? Or why am I attracting people that have such low self-esteem? Well, it's again on some level to learn what that parent dealt with. Because a lot of times we think that our parents should be strong and a protector and all these things that we don't look at our parents like they're people, like they also went through traumatic experiences. So again, the connection of I do love you, I love you, you're my dad, and that that your dad loved you, but they didn't show it. And because they didn't show it, that's where the trauma resides. And you might also be someone that could sway back and forth from having to deal with, your emotions from not getting emotionally what you needed. A lot of people turn to substances. I mean, unsafe, and that's really what it is. It's like this person didn't make you feel safe because, again, they're not, and that's exactly what it felt like in the environment that you grew up in. That, again, what is the father? What is, again, or if it's the mother that's acting as a role of the father, or just took on the role of the father, because sometimes the women in the family have that dominant personality, but if emotionally they're not giving you what you need and they're a tyrant and they're again are not fair and where you're perceiving that they gaslight because they're seeing everything through their own perception and they could have again a lot of unhealed trauma themselves, especially if they attracted a person that's avoidant and uses substances to repress their emotions. It's almost like you would wind up recreating what you grew up with if you were with this person. So you can see how that trauma of how you grew up has manifested and due to whatever energy you're in. But again, feeling not safe. So and again, where for some, I feel like for some, it's like just what happens is that when a person doesn't like emotionally there for you, they don't show up, they wind up getting like, you don't want to be sexual with the person. You don't want to have intimacy with that person anymore. So what happens is that this is what happens. The relationship in the beginning for this person is tends to be all based on passion, like attraction. And I say that because if they emotionally don't feel comfortable and they play all these games due to their past and they have all this baggage, why would they be in a relationship to begin with? They associate relationships not with good things. So it's again to the point that they have to control it, the point that they create the facade. But it's not like they don't have feelings. They have feelings. They are attracted. But it's all about that passion and falling in love with being in love. And that's not really real. So the relationship goes from one extreme to another. And this is why they have intimacy issues. There's no balance within the relationship. And balance is, again, being present in the relationship, where I feel like this person's avoidant. They don't want to deal with their emotions. It's again, if the person doesn't want to deal with their emotions, and they're not going to be able to communicate. And if they can't communicate with their life, then they're keeping you out of life, and they are really like compartmentalizing. And so that's a sign of disassociation, right? That's a sign. That's what happens when a person detaches and becomes disassociated, is that they know what's happened. Is that because they are like, I don't really have feelings anymore for that person. I don't know why it went from one extreme to another. Because, like you said, it's that detachment. It goes back to that where a person's almost like living from their addictions, as that passion, living from that, like the high, hormone release of the serotonin, like it's an addiction, but falling in love. Only that doesn't last. What lasts is the groundingness when someone shows up, is the intimate connection, which this person doesn't know how to do, but they think that there's something wrong with them. It's like what's wrong with them is that they want to do things their way and that they don't learn. So that's the issue there. So what we can say is, why would you attract a person like this into your life? That's the best thing that we can say, because at this point, it's like I felt right from the beginning of this reading that this would be like a trauma bond, like a person that has feelings, but they're not capable. And if again, and for you, you have gone through that experience already, like you grew up in that environment. So it would be that you didn't learn the lesson. You'd be looking at this person for their potential. And again, the attraction, but without the ground. And the ground is when we feel good about ourselves. When we're again treating ourselves good, feel good about ourselves. We're not falling back on our addictions, avoiding half of life. It's so again, we can't really create balance in a relationship if that's what we're going to do. And this person would try to do it, and it would make your life a living hell. That's what a trauma bond is, because it means that like now we're stuck together because we made all these plans together. We bought a house together. We might have kids together. We do whatever together. And I expected you to change. And it's like that person didn't know how to change. It's like they change by you changing the dynamic and making them look at themselves, but not really by you being in their life and comforting them and like, no, that there is love there, but it's almost like the wisdom of you knowing why this person has come into your life, what it was supposed to teach you. And so it doesn't mean that there isn't love, but it means that you love yourself more. So we can say again, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to spiritually integrate? And we can say again, inner authority, listening to yourself. So this is more of a gift. I see it as that, right? So these are the inner child cards. So inner child cards are what spiritual gift or what spiritual wound did you obtain in childhood from growing up in the environment that you grew up in? And it was, well, you didn't really have the guidance. So you had to have your own inner authority, and that made you very intuitive, which is a gift. And that's what allows you to see your situation, how it would be. So you're able to see past there is attraction, there is a lot of chemistry. I love this person, there is unconditional love. However, everything that they are, I can't, like, again, they need so much healing. Again, isolation. So not feeling included, not feeling this person they emotionally don't show up for you. It's like the same thing. So you could have felt like, when we don't feel safe in our environment, we again tend to go into hiding as a way of protecting ourselves. So I feel like, again, avoidance, that could be something that you needed to overcome. And the avoidance would be, I see that this is wrong, but I'm going to pretend that it's not there. And I'm just going to focus on the good elements. And it's not about that. It's about like not being avoidant and actually listening to your inner authority, and no matter how hard it is, doing what you need to do. And also, I feel like to protect yourself, some of you had to go into isolation because I believe that is a lot of passion, there is a lot of chemistry. This person expected you to act a certain way, they wanted you to act a certain way. And I feel like they didn't treat you well, so that was emotionally hard for you because, again, there is a strong connection on top of it. So there's this whole spiritual element, which makes you so emotionally connected to this person, because this person doesn't have emotions to anybody. And they're, again, can't believe that you've affected them the way that you did. And the reason why is because they couldn't control this relationship. This was a divine connection for them to learn and for you to learn. Again, innocence. So I believe that your innocence, like, part of it is you tend to look at things like through that innocence. Like, I feel like you're a true like empath and say that you saw the good in this person. And no matter like what our parents do, regardless, we're always going to see them as our parents, and there's always going to be that unconditional love there. But I also believe because you grew up the way that you did, your innocence was robbed. So there's a sense of being very paradoxical. And again, I feel like you learning how to deal with it through not being judgmental, but seeing it through more of a spiritual perspective so that you could let it go and be in peace. And again, hope. And hope to me is that, like, really integrating the spiritual lesson, like realizing that this person has nothing to do with how well you can attract someone into your life. It's also to realize that this person is, coming to a realization, but, I feel like this was more or less like them kind of eating the karma, of not being able to have you in their life. Like you choosing yourself, listening to yourself, like your inner authority, keeping your innocence, because when you are in a relationship that's toxic, it strips you of being able to trust yourself. It strips you of everything, to be honest with you, because you can't be in a relationship where you're continually in survival mode, it distorts your perceptions about yourself, the world around you. It takes from you. And that's what takes your hope away. And hope is very much like faith. Faith is a bridge that connects you to what you sow to what is actually reaped, right? So it's like you can't create good things in your life with being connected to something that isn't gonna make you feel safe. And that's again, if this person brought you back to that particular time within life in order to help you heal, in order for you to see things through that parent's perception, in order for you to really integrate the spiritual lesson where you let go. Because once you learn, you like I said, you evolve to a higher state of consciousness. You realize this had nothing to do with me. This was my dad's or my mom's weakness or my caregiver's weakness. That person was not capable of doing it. But did they love me? Yes. Did they give me gifts? Yes. Made you very strong intuitive because you always had that connection, that ESP connection with that parent. You always knew how they felt. They didn't need to share with you. It's again because you could feel it through their demeanor, through again their vibe at such a young age. And that made you very intuitive. So, and I do believe the hope of being able to attract better things into your life. I mean, we can't do it if, like I said, we have somebody with us that it just emotionally can't give, and they don't want to do the work. And then on top of it, instead of doing the work, they're going to be arrogant and self-righteous. No, that's gonna make you be in a very negative downside because you won't be getting what you need, getting triggered all the time, and then this person's going to be self-righteous about it. You'd be, and so like there's a sense of you knowing, saying, no, I already know how it would be. And so we ask Spirit any other information that we could pull in, and the divine fruit. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundation. My intellect is light, my heart is warmth, and my soul is strength. I am nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. So Spirit pretty much said it's like to improve and strengthen your foundation. Well, the mother and the father. Father is really your connection to the earth. Your connection, your root chakra is considered your ancestral, like connection to your ancestors, your connection to the earth. So I feel like, because there was like a little bit of a crack in the foundation because of your father's or mother, like I said, whoever the caregiver was, the primary one, the one that you associated with, the one that you had a strong intuitive connection to, well, it's again, you had inherited some of their ancestral trauma. So in order for you to really like improve yourself, you had to heal that. And the only way you would have been able to heal how your perception of that parent was to actually be put in that situation yourself. And that is what a trauma bond actually is. And I feel like you avoided it because you actually had that knowledge, that spiritual insight, like, oh, hell no, if I wind up with this person, I'm gonna be like reliving like exactly what my parents, lived, where, my dad like cared about my mom, but it was like in a way abandoned because emotionally he wasn't capable. He wasn't capable of not just giving me, but wasn't capable of giving her. And so that is really, again, we live, and so to actually get firsthand to walk in the shoes of that parent, to walk in the shoes of, um, to see. That's why we enter back into a trauma bond, because there's part of us that is having a hard time forgiving, is a hard time letting go, and it's manifesting in other areas of life. In this person's life, they keep recreating their parents' trauma bonds. Only is that they're the person that's the villain. They're not the person that, they watched have like go through it. And so they keep doing that. They're stuck in that cycle, but that cycle is that they don't believe that they can have love, when really they make their situations not feel safe on an emotional level. So, like I said, in order to really heal and be the best conduit for spirit to work through, so that we can manifest the life and the life experiences that we want to have, we have to like clear our spiritual blocks. And what I see here was there was still spiritual blocks with the connection to Father, and it was affecting. So again, that would affect like money, anything with your foundation. So by you again going back into the situation and seeing things from a higher perception, you actually clear your money blocks and all other root chakra imbalances, because you're getting a stronger connection to self. And when you're in your body, that's again how divine works through you. So it's this connection, I would say, it was more about helping you break trauma cycles, trauma bond cycles, ancestral cycles, real root chakra work. That's what you're doing when you break this cycle. So bravo, I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. If you resonated with this, if you let me know. And don't forget to write the word in the video in your comment bar. I forgot what it was, but go back to the beginning of the video and you'll find out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.